right, welcome back. So now we are in step 3. Step 2 was amazing for us. We found just about everything that we need in step 2, where we looked at the Nimmer treatise. So now we're in step 3, which is where we want to search for codified law, and we want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Our Nimmer treatise led us to 17 U.S.C. 107, which is the fair use defense. And we learned there that there were these factors that you have to balance to determine whether hey prof is a fair use of hey Jude. So we're actually going to look at this in Westlaw just to give you a little variety of things. We were looking at Lexis before because Lexis has the Nimmer treatise. Westlaw does not. So I'm just going to put in here the citation for the fair use defense, which is 17 U.S.C. 107. And I'll click go. So the citation for this is in the workbook. You can look that up if you want and read the 4 factors here. But basically, these are the 4 factors through which we have to analyze our parity issue. So now, once we have found this on-point statute, we need to break this into elements and then research in the rest of the Copyright Act to make sure that we're not missing anything. So if we take here the preamble, this first paragraph, we want to break it down into elements. And I just add slashes. I'll copy this into a Word document and add slashes to it. That's what I do in real life. Here on the video, I can just add in little slashes here. If we do that, basically, there's not a lot of elements here. It's basically a fair use is something whose purpose is to criticize, to comment, to report the news, to teach, and so on. Of all those things, criticism and comment are probably the ones we're talking about. So this helps us redefine our issue. Now the new issue is whether hey prof is a comment or a criticism. If it is, it looks like it's more like fair use. So now we have our elements here. We have fair use, criticism, comment. We have the different factors here. Now we need to apply the rest of Skill 310, which is where we look in the rest of the act to make sure we're not missing anything. So what you always do is you click on Table of Contents. And now this gives you the expanded view of the entire Copyright Act. So you can see what are the other sections of this act. Here we are at 107. And here's a definition section. You look at the definition section, and I already went through this section in pretty good detail, and none of our terms are defined here. You can see here's anonymous work, architectural work, audiovisual works. Fair use isn't defined. None of the factors are defined. Criticism or comment isn't defined. I even looked under P for parody or lampoon. None of that was defined here. So there wasn't that much. So we looked in the definition section. Another thing we need to do is just read the catch lines for the rest of the act to see if there's anything that pertains to us. And as I was looking through here, I saw that Chapter 5 of the Copyright Act is all about copyright infringement and remedies. So as we look at Chapter 5 here, we see that there are 2 very important sections. This section 505 says that the losing party has to pay the costs and attorney's fees of the opposing party. So, if you're going to sue somebody for copyright infringement, you better be pretty sure you're going to win. And then under 507, it says that there's a 3-year statute of limitations, meaning you have 3 years from the time the cause of action accrues to sue somebody. So we'll want to look back and see did Kylie Williams create this video more than 3 years ago? If so, there's another defense that we could use. I don't think so in our case, but in real life, that could have been a situation where she made it and now she's graduating. So 3 years later, she's graduating, and this is just coming to light now. So that would be a new research lead. We'd start a new plan and research that issue. Put the fair use defense aside and research just this. Okay, so that does it for Skill 310. We thoroughly analyzed the Copyright Act. We found these additional sections about statute of limitations and attorney fees. and we made sure that we weren't missing anything. So we are done with step 3. So now we'll go into step 4, case law, and now we're going to add to the cases we found, hopefully, and figure out which ones are binding and which ones are not. So I'll see you in 4.1. Bye.